Something's wrong with you, man.
I mean, look, I'm just trying to make sure seeing this right in my mind. Because you said I got to think about taking small kids on boats.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hear The Hive 1155. I am one of the co-hosts, Dom, and this guy laughing next to me is Steven.
Oh my gosh, how y'all doing today, man? Y'all coming in hot today. I'm telling you, boy, y'all,
Not the word.
We weren't even supposed to be recording yet, but we were in the middle of this conversation. Dominique says to me, "I'm going on a cruise." Like, all right, you going on a cruise? You and the wife, or you and your wife and your kids? She's like, "Oh yeah, no, me and the two oldest kids." I said, "Okay." So, what are you going to do with the other kids? I said, "My sister, my aunt, my family's going to take care of them." Cool. Everything is fine at that moment. And then Dominique says, "I have this thing about taking small kids on boats."
Absolutely.
Because they're going to jump over and I'm going to have to jump over after them. At which point, I could not control my laughter. Because it sounded like his expectation was that his kids were going to be so overwhelmed by the beauty of the ocean that they would climb up to the top of what, if I'm correct, is a 4 or 5 foot rail and jump 200 feet to the ocean.
Look, I don't know. Look, my kids do a lot worse than that. So, you know, I don't know how they get up there, but I always catch them in the act of something like super dangerous. And so I'm always, my nerves are not, this is vacation.
So what you're saying is you fully expect your kids to be on the top deck.
Yep.
Ignoring all of the people and the water and the games and the food and the music behind them and jump over the rail to the ocean.
That's where my mind goes. Yes. Whether or
I'm
not
I'm so glad they're not coming. If for nothing other than your peace of mind.
So people ask me like, "Yo, why are you so on edge?" Like when you're in public with your kids, it's like, look, my mind goes straight to the top of the not possible list.
What is the worst thing that they could possibly do? That's what I'm thinking they're going to do.
Yep. That's what I'm expecting them to do. So then everything under that is nothing. It's no problem.
So playing for the win. If I expect them to do the worst stuff and they don't, then I win.
I win. Absolutely. 100%.
Oh, man.
Oh, yep. So now that we're live, I told you I had something else for you, right?
Oh, what we got? What we got?
All right, guys. My wife hasn't even seen this.
Uh-oh.
Debuting a new look.
Okay. I'm glad you come home. I'm glad you come home. What I will say though is, I like the look. I was it's the presentation. I mean, I've seen a lot of I've gone bald presentations before. Yours is way up there on the list. Put that joint off like you had gone and got that insurance fraud spray on wave joint. Yeah, going fresh too. And you have a time to tan right. Like,
yo, that was the crazy thing. Like I was cutting it off. I was like, I need to go sit in the sun. Like it's uneven right now.
It's probably real smooth right now too.
Super smooth. Super.
Okay, so here's the question: did you use clippers? Did you use a razor? Or did you use one of those rotating things?
I used one of the rotating things, yes.
Which one did you use? Because mine just went kaputski. I've had it for a year.
I bought mine some time ago off of Amazon. I have no idea. But and I'm not plugging them, even though I'll take a sponsorship now that you got two bald guys, it'd be great. It's called Freebird. I've been eyeing that thing.
Okay. All right. Bet.
Yep.
We'll look into that because mine, like I said, mine just, as you can tell, I have too much hair at the moment, and need to replace it. So
Freebird. I want my money. I want my money.
I'm so glad that you came home, though. It looks good. You look very aerodynamic. I like it.
Did you say aerodynamic?
I'm gonna tell you why.
I was swimming.
So So this will not be your traditional Fear the Hive sports podcast today. But I would like to say that Sha'Carri Richardson, in her natural hair, much better than Sha'Carri Richardson in the braids. Although she didn't look bad in the braids, that natural hair. Yep.
Yeah, just the natural stuff is good. Like nails, all that was a bit too much.
Well, I mean, I like the change up. I don't have a problem with the nails. That's her persona. I get it. But the change up, I was like, okay, I support whatever it is you're trying to do with your hair because I know hair journeys are a thing. They're a whole thing. So I'm glad that she won. I'm glad that she I'm glad that she won. I'm glad that she went natural. I'm glad that you're going natural. I'm happy all around.
Hey man, look, I'm just happy I don't have to. Well, I haven't been going to the barbershop in forever, but it just got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm just done having hair too. Like I could care less at this point. Like whatever, man.
Did I tell you about the last time I went to the barbershop?
When?
It was almost a year ago. Because anybody that knows me, I don't do barbershops. In college, when I was broke, I learned how to cut my hair I learned how to fade my hair. And so ever since then, I've either been going bald or I've been fading my hair, right? I only go to a barbershop to get a lineup if I go, and I very rarely go.
Mm-hmm.
But I was working, doing church stuff, doing family stuff. So I hadn't cut my hair in a while. Just had this thing we're supposed to be going to. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the barbershop. I'm going to get a real haircut, right? So I made an appointment on an app, which, first of all, I didn't know that's what we had to do anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it's a thing. Okay. So I made my appointment. I resigned myself to paying the $45 for the haircut. $40 plus the $5 tip.
Okay. What, man? Okay, whatever.
So I said this a year ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So went there, got the haircut. He lined me, he did all the good stuff. And then about 20 minutes into the haircut, he brings out an index card. And I'm going,
oh, I know what he did. Oh,
I've never seen this before.
I know where you're going. Yep.
And all of a sudden he brings out an aerosol can.
Yep.
I've never seen this before. This man sprays on my hairline. Now, let me be clear. I choose to be bald. I can grow my hair out and whatnot. And my hairline is not hard to do. Like it can be done. So I was confused as to why this man is spraying a hairline on me.
He didn't even ask you.
It's me. Like my hairline was like my hairline was trash. Like my hairline was suffering from global warming. Like it was uneven on all sides. Like, and so, but here's the sad part. When he was done, that joint was crispy. That joint was tight. And I was conflicted, right? So I'm like, first of all, I didn't pay you $45 to disrespect my hairline. I didn't do that. My follicles deserve respect.
Yeah.
But this makeup you done sprayed on my head, that joint is tight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But here's what they don't tell you. You got 1 day, maybe 2. Because on that second shower, it's done.
Oh yeah, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone.
Done for. Done.
And you know what? I'm with you on that because first off, I stopped going to the barbershop because I remember when haircuts back when my dad used to take me to get haircuts, they were like $7-8. And then when I got to college and whatnot, it was like $10-12.
Okay.
And then I moved to Charlotte, and then it was like 15-ish, 20. And then it got to a point it was like, 20, 25. Okay. All right. And then it hit 30 and I was like, yeah, I'm done. No. Negative.
yo, you got to make an appointment and you got to come up off of $30, $35.
Here's the thing about the appointment. They're always late. They never on time with the, like, you can show up for your 9 o'clock appointment. Somebody's in the chair. It's like, dude, what's the point of making an appointment if somebody else is in the chair already?
I don't know. But what I do know is I don't go to barbershops.
Yeah. Nah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got 4 clippers. I got like 12 guards. I got the little thing I got to replace for the hair balder. You know, I got stuff. I can make it look kind of like a real dude. Yeah. Like when I'm done with my cut, it looks like I went to the guy that ain't actually got his, you know, barber degree yet. Like he like 4 hours short. Yeah, he like 4 hours short. That's how mine look. Like sometimes it'd be real good. It'd be 8. Other times, don't nobody say nothing. I don't know what they be thinking, but it's all good.
I mean, at the same time, it's like, you can say what you want, whatever. I save money. I save money. So,
but yeah, man. Glad that you came on home. Looking forward to pictures from the cruise. That's gonna be dope. You know what? Ironically enough, living in Houston means I'm an hour away from Galveston.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of cruises go out. So I was just talking with my wife like a couple of days ago. It's like we don't have to fly in to go on a cruise. So that like cuts the cost of a cruise in half. Yeah.
So, we're going out of Canaveral. Of course, that's in Orlando. We're in Charlotte.
Are y'all gonna fly or you gonna drive? Whoa. What's all this tension I feel in the air?
I'll drive. My wife wants to fly.
I was about to say, if you want to drive, I'm rest assured your wife wants to fly. I know. That's how it goes.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm not flying. We have 2 airports here in Charlotte. We have Charlotte Douglas and we have Concord. So guess who might be looking up Allegiant flights?
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Why not?
Okay, let me tell you why. I'm assuming going on a cruise that you're going to be taking luggage with you.
Yes.
Okay. If you're looking at Allegiant, if you don't get the package that already includes your carry-on, which is more than just the regular standard price, you have to pay for your carry-on. Carry-on.
Mm-hmm.
Carry-on.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you get 1 check bag per ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And only God knows how much that's going to be. So just know you got to weigh those with the regular, you know, Delta, United, American flights. Like I don't have anything against Allegiant. I just know I was flying out of Orlando and I had to get like a ticket right then. Like I was in Orlando, I had to fly back. I went to the airport and I had a carry-on. I looked at Allegiant. I was about to give them my car and it was like, "Oh yeah, sir, it's going to be $40 for your carry-on." I said, "Excuse me? You going to charge me for my carry-on?" I'm going to go to United and get my points and get my carry-on for free. And I'm going to be in a seat that I'm sure is going to be comfortable. That's what I'm going to do. So just look, I'm just saying. Maybe they've changed their policies. Maybe I'm stuck in the past.
Look, I'm from the old school. Anything less than 8 hours, I can drive. But see, the sad thing is, even if I was to drive, then when I get there, I got to pay for the car to sit somewhere.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
But if I fly, I got to deal with the gymnastics of budgeting time. At least on the way back. Flying down there, we're looking at flying in like a day or 2 early. And you know, so that way it's not really a big deal. But you know, flying back, like getting off the cruise and then going to the airport, trying to make sure we get there in time and all that other stuff. It's mental gymnastics that, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to, you know, it might come out now. If it's a wash, okay, fine. Let's fly because I mean, pay to store the car somewhere. I got to pay for a hotel room anyway. You know.
Here's the other thing that I don't think you're considering in this whole flying versus driving thing. And this is from not an old man, but an older man. You know what I start calculating into my drives?
What's
The
that?
cost of my time.
Mm.
Right? If I've got to drive 8 hours, then conservatively, that's worth $450, $500 on a conservative end. That's how much it's worth, right? So if my flight is the exact same or less than that, then I'm flying
Mm.
because it don't make, you know what I mean? Like that time thing, you ain't getting them hours back. You're
True.
not. And so that's how I look at it from time to time, right? I can drive to Atlanta because I can't find a flight for $100 round trip, right? But if I could, I wouldn't drive.
What
It'd be
happened?
no.
Wait, what happened to the days where you could just hop, go to the airport and pay like $150, $200 for a round trip ticket? Like that's what was
Capitalism.
advertised to me as,
Capitalism.
that's what it was advertised to me as a young man. I was like, oh man, when I move back to the US, it's gonna be great. I can just hop on a flight on the weekend and for like 150, $200 and come on back and it's gonna be all right. I get here, like, oh, you wanna go from Charlotte to I don't know, Texas, and it's gonna be $400 round trip. It's like, wait, no, that's not what I saw. It's not what it was advertised.
Agreed. Look, man. For the life of me, the pricing that is on, it's not on demand, but it's if a flight costs $300 3 months from now, back in the day, the same flight would cost $300 on the day of the flight.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I was flying tomorrow, back in the day, and the flight was $300, even if I purchased that ticket months ago, it was still almost $300. Like, there's not a whole lot of price variance in that. Like, 'cause that's the cost of the flight.
Gotcha.
Not anymore. Not anymore. And that's, I mean, I get it. Maximizing profits, shareholder value, all of that other stuff. But from someone that remembers airports the way that they used to be and that has a large family that flies now, I hate it. Like, I get a flight from Houston to Charlotte round trip for $200 if I book it at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't, it's $500, and I don't like that. Like either I book it at the right time and everybody's going, or I book it at the wrong time and only I'm going. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it goes.
But I'm okay. I'm looking up the flights right now. Like flying Sunday, December 17th, coming back.
Oh, you got months. You had months.
December 23rd, dude. This thing's gonna cost $532 a person.
Okay, wait. What browser are you using?
I'm using Chrome.
Using Chrome. Okay. Are you in like Google Travel, or are you in like Expedia?
I'm on American Airlines.
Okay.
Like the cost of this flight for 4 people is almost the same amount as the cruise.
Okay, so this is what I think you should do.
Drink?
At some point that is going to be necessary. But there's this thing that Google does with their travel. If you go into if you go into Chrome into the Google section of travel, and you put in your location, like your home airport, and zoom out, it'll give you the prices of the cities, right?
Uh-huh.
And what you're going to find is that if you do it that way, you're going to get a better flight, a better price for your flight, no matter where you go, right? Instead of putting in, I'm flying from Charlotte to Port Canaveral, I'm flying from Charlotte on these days. And then it'll tell you how much it costs to fly to different places from Charlotte on these days. And then you scroll all the way over to Port Canaveral and you click on it, and 8 out of 10, you're going to find a better price. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to rap about that afterwards. Yeah.
I'm just look, man, look. Tips and tricks that people have bestowed upon me over the years. Some of them work, some of them don't. That one has worked recently for me. So yeah, it's worked recently for me. So, but yeah, no, I'm with you on the whole traveling with kids. Kids, man, they Jesus.
Yeah.
Can I tell you? I was on the phone with a friend of mine
mm-hmm.
about an hour ago, hour and a half ago, and I was telling him to. He was telling me we were texting. He said, "I'm gonna call you. I just got to give the boys a bath." And I was like, "Good job, great dadding, right? Great parenting." He was like, "Yeah, I need some of that energy," and I was like, "Dude, enjoy it, because once it's gone, it's gone."
Right. Yeah.
Like, my kids no longer require my assistance to take a bath, and as much as it was the most tiring thing in the world when I was doing it, I completely miss it. Like, I'm looking forward to as a grandfather, right?
Yeah.
Helping my grandkids, doing things. So, but
Yeah. I definitely, I definitely don't take any of that for granted. The time that I spend with my little ones, and it's interesting because during COVID, they were born around, COVID and whatnot, both of them. And at the time we were working from home. So it was nice to be there like 24/7,
yep,
see them grow up every day, all day, and it was pretty amazing. So, I mean, I definitely feel you on that one.
yeah, man. Yeah, I very much appreciated that time too, because until then we didn't have the opportunity to spend that concentrated amount of time with them. But it was, as much as COVID was the challenge of our lifetime, or one of the challenges of our lifetime, right? It was very much a blessing in that regard. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man.
Yeah. Like I'm what is it? I'm 34. I've lived through Desert Storm, uh, Y2K, 9/11, the housing market crash,
Mm.
COVID.
Notice you said Y2K. You didn't mention the 2000 stock market bubble. But go on. Go
Okay,
on.
yeah, and that's the thing. I'm missing some stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
already I'm already at like 5 lifetime extinction events here.
Hey, man.
I can't. Like I'm tired.
Life fatigue. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
with you on
I'm,
that.
I'm tired.
I'm with you.
It's been thrown around here that if this next variant of COVID comes back, is it possible that shutdowns are coming again? I'm like,
Yo, you want to hear what's interesting about that? Somebody said we're headed. So I was reading. Somebody said we're headed towards that, and I can tell you how I know.
mm-hmm. Chicken
What
wing.
what's the place that has the candles?
Yankee.
Yeah. So somebody noticed that right when COVID hit the first time, right
Mm-hmm.
before the shutdowns, there was a rash of reviews saying that the Yankee candles had no smell.
Oh God.
And it's starting to happen again right now.
Yeah.
Like, people going in there, this candle has no smell. 1 star, 1 star. I can't smell it. It's not, it's a 1 star, 1 star. And the dude was like, for the love of God, we're headed back. We're going backwards.
Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever realized that it might not be the candle? It's probably you.
But no, the funny part is, I'm looking at that, I'm going, that actually makes sense. Like,
Right.
when have you ever had a Yankee candle that didn't smell like nothing? Let's be very clear.
Oh yeah.
I've never been in the presence of a Yankee candle and didn't know it, lit or unlit, right?
Well,
So,
I mean, yeah, we get our candles from Essence capsules. So
okay, all right. Well, it's one of those things where I certainly hope not. I don't think. Well, first of all, I'm in Texas. Ain't gonna be no lockdowns. Texas is outside, my dude.
right.
They're like, if you die, you die. This has nothing to do with us.
Just go ahead and move
Mask
them
up if
out of
you
the
need
street
to.
and keep on moving.
Keep it moving. We gonna cancel this concert? No, you're just gonna be in here with masks, and you get a vaccine if you want. We don't care. It's available for you, but you ain't gotta take it. But if you want to roll that way, you can. Like, it's up to you. This is, you know, republicanism at its best. Government is like, it's available. If you don't want to take it, that's on you. I ain't gonna tell you to take it. I mean,
Oh yeah.
roll the dice with your health.
Oh yeah.
So,
So speaking of smells, and you ever somebody ever burn something in the microwave and like
Can we talk about it? Can
like
we talk about it?
like okay, so here's my story. My son was he likes the cup of noodles, right? So he was
Your kid too?
bro,
They have a union to smoke out microwaves. They got a union. They have secret meetings. They text each other and they plot this crap out. There's no way you could be this consistently um, absent-minded
right,
about
yeah.
something that you've had happen before. But go ahead. No, please. I need to hear
Yeah,
this.
so my son he eats noodles like all the time. So I'm like, you know what, fine, if that's what you want to eat. Cool, whatever. I can get those like 20 for, $1. So hey, go for it. Whatever. Do you think? And then he's heating it up. And like I said, I have the uncanny ability to walk in on my kids. And you know what? I think that's like a dad's superpower. Like we
Yeah,
just
Spider-Man. Yeah, Spidey sense.
like we just show up when stuff is about to go crazy.
You walk in
And
like, what's going on here?
pretty much, like I was coming downstairs, I'm just looking. I was like, "Why is there smoke in the microwave?" Mario, what's going on? He was like, "Oh, I forgot the water." I'm like, "You?" So you put the cup of noodles in the microwave without any water. How'd you forget the water? Like how? Please
There's
enlighten
three
me.
ingredients to noodles: noodles, water, seasoning.
Like, and then the thing about it is when you do that, that smell is
Days.
just yes, it
Days.
stays in your house for days. Like what's your problem, man? Like, my wife was hot. She came downstairs. She was like, and she didn't care that it happened. She was just like, the smell of my house. It's just gonna smell like this for like that. And my wife does not like having fish fries
Mm.
or seafood boils because I mean, my wife makes a really good seafood boil and she makes good fish fries and all that. But she just knows that that smell stays in the house for days.
Yeah, yeah. I don't fry anything in the house because of it.
Yeah. And yeah, whenever it happens, she's just like, yeah, it's and then my wallet's unhappy because then she goes and buys up all of the candles that she can find that we probably can't smell. So
Man, Dominique, I'm still upset. Let me tell you why I'm upset.
what's up?
Like your children, my children like the microwave as well, right? We got an air fryer, we have an oven, but for
Yep.
some reason they like to use the microwave for things. And one of the things that they love to eat is macaroni and cheese. It's easy. And no. Yes, I'm talking about you and I'm on live. So going back over there, let me tell my story. Go, bye. And so what my children love to do is they love to make macaroni and cheese in the microwave, right?
Mm.
But on more than one occasion,
Mm-hmm.
my children, it happened yesterday. Yesterday. My child, who has done this no less than 50 times, went to the cupboard. He got the macaroni and cheese
Mm-hmm.
and he put it in the microwave.
Mm.
And I promise you, he nuked the entire home. It felt like. Because when I walked back in, because I had gone to pick up my son Sam from football, or I forgot what I had gone to do. I just know when I got back, it smelled like cheese death in the house.
Oh my god!
Because he had put it in the microwave and he had cooked it the entire 2 minutes.
Mm.
So when it came out of the microwave, it was now molten lava.
Yeah.
Like a pumice stone that had dried. You know, lava turns
Yeah.
pumice stone. Yeah, it was that. And you're banned.
Mm-hmm.
Banned from the microwave. You may not use it under any circumstances unless you ask. You may not use it. You may not touch it. You may not look at it. You may not dream of it.
Well,
Yes, I'm talking about you gone.
and for anybody that's ever so like the smell that I'm talking about is like if you've ever smelled ammonia,
Oh God, it's the worst.
that is exactly what it smells like.
It's
And
the
this
worst.
is how I knew I had a very good nose. Like a few years ago, somebody heat something up a little too long. It was they heated it up for far too long, and I was able to, and I was walking around the kitchen, and I was just, and I was like, why does that smell like that ammonia smell? And let me tell you, this is how I knew something was off. I smelt it, but only like when I really took deep breath, real deep breath, and I didn't see anything around. So I was like, yo, and my wife's sitting there talking to me, and I'm Googling, hey, what is it? What's going on? If you smell ammonia, but there's nothing burnt. And it's like, oh yeah, you're probably it's like, yeah, you probably have like brain cancer or something. I was like, oh shit.
I got brain cancer.
Right. And that's exactly where my mind went. I'm like, because I don't see anything burnt. And then I'm sitting around, and then I sat there, and I finally opened the microwave, and I was like, whose stuff is this? This burnt, and I think, and I forget what it was. No, I know exactly what it was. It was those frozen cordon blues.
Oh.
Yeah. Somebody did that for far too long, but it was just I was pissed off because I'm sitting here Googling, WebMD, and just sitting there. It's like, yeah, you're like gonna die in like the next 3 weeks or whatever. It's like, yeah, if you smell it, and I remember exactly what it said.
Man.
It said your liver is shutting down, and that is not filtering properly. So I'm just like, yo, I gotta make an appointment tomorrow.
I'm dying. I smell ammonia in this house. All the while, it was the children in the microwave.
Yeah. Definitely check the microwave, check whatever. Don't look at WebMD first, because that'll get you in trouble. It really does.
Dude, from time to time, you're going to hear me pop my fingers, right? So, our kids, yes, pop, 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 putty, pop, pop, pop. And it's one of those things that, yes, I don't need the donuts. Thank you very much, though. In fact, go check on the counter. There might be a donut for you if you go sit down and eat it. Okay? And so one of the things that I started with my kids, like, I hate yelling in public at them. Can't do. Like, I'm not even really going to fuss loud with you in public. Talk at a nice, sensible tone, because that's how my parents did it. I'm not going to, this is not going to be an event in public.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I need to get your attention. I pop my fingers 3 times. Like, we got a bunch of parent signals. Me and my wife do, right? Like, one of them is the popping finger 3 times. Because I need you to know that there's something that you're either doing or not doing that you need to either stop or to actually do in the moment without me saying your name and calling attention to the vast amount of people that are here. And so I got the finger pop. Like, the finger pop's my thing, right? It snaps real hard and really, really, really loud. And it works. They know. Now, the sad part is when I'm with my kids and kids that are not my kids, the mother kids, they be like, what is that? My kids be like, yo, sit down. Yeah, no. Because they know that if there's a 4th pop, like 3 pops, 1 pop is like, I need to pay attention. 2 pops is like, you get on my nerves. 3 pops is like, stop. If there's a 4th pop, there are consequences or repercussions, right? So,
I trained my dog with that at one point. But it was just, but like you, that's my natural thing. Like, even with my kids, like, the same thing. I'm like, hey, relax.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Relax. But I grew up with parents that, they would yell at me. Like, my mother's Jamaican, my dad's from Detroit, whatever. Like, that's just what they did.
They yell across the yard at you, or like.
Oh yeah. Like, yes. But because the way we grew up overseas, we were on these garrisons, is what they call them, and mine was where we lived at. You could see me for maybe about 100 meters or so. So in order to get my attention from all the way down there, they had to yell.
Oh, I get that though. That's different though. That's different though.
Yeah, we didn't have cell phones back then, so you had to do what you had to do. But
didn't have cell phones. Oh my God, how did you live without cell phones?
Oh, it was the greatest. I got played outside in the dirt. It was great.
Man, can we talk about for a minute how our children will never be able to fully experience what it means to be outside all day? Like, don't come back.
Yeah,
Like, drink water from the faucet.
yeah.
Like,
Oh man, that was the best
be
one.
back. I don't want to see you till the lights, till the street lights come back on. Like, I remember, I remember my parents used to allow us in the summertime to leave the house at like
Mhm.
10:30 after breakfast, and we would literally be gone until it got dark at 8:30 again. Like gallivanting in like a 1.5 square mile radius of our home,
Yep.
just doing whatever
Yep.
wouldn't kill us.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Those were the days. And like your imagination was on like I think kids' imagination levels like here, ours, here. Like, do you know how many sticks I had in my arsenal that were guns and swords? Like, you would look at a stick like, man, that'd be that's
Oh
a good sword.
snap! I ain't got that kind of stick. Let me go ahead. Let me get that. Let me get
Yeah,
that. Let me get that.
yeah. And then you would always, before you went in the house, you try to leave it somewhere because you know you couldn't take it in the house. And then
Man,
you come back out and it was gone. You were like, that was a good
somebody,
sword.
somebody robbed the armory.
Somebody got me. Like, somebody got me. Or like somebody be throwing out like a giant cardboard box and you're like, your eyes would just light up. You
Hey
don't
man,
know what you were gonna do with it, but you knew you were gonna do like it was gonna do something.
it's gonna be everything. It's gonna be cars. It's gonna be a spaceship. It's gonna be a tent. It's gonna be a cave.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, it's gonna be everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. By the end of the day, I will have traveled to Mars and driven in the in the Formula One.
Good times, man.
Oh yeah,
Good times.
big time. And then what brings me back? I look at this now, and I think just thinking about it, my knees would just explode. But like, I used to jump from like
Talk about it. Talk
super
about it.
high, and the crazy thing is, I would land and just recoil and be like, "Yeah, let's do it again." If I do that now, oh my god.
We're not calling this generation soft by any stretch of imagination. All we're saying is that when we were younger, we used to jump from 2 stories up and make it work. That's all. Make it work. Concrete, make it work. Asphalt, make it work. Grass, make it work. Gravel, make it work.
Or check this out. You ever had a swing contest to see how far you can jump?
Yes. Yes. And we kept going after the kid broke his ankle. Yes. Yes. That one dude that just had to stretch it out a little bit farther and broke his ankle.
Yep.
We left him right there and we finished. And then we went and helped him back. This man got his foot on the wrong way. And we're like, hey man, we got 2 more people.
We gotta go.
Hey man, we gotta see who's gonna win this, man, because we ain't gonna be out here for a minute.
Or even playing tag and hide and go seek, and then the biggest accolade was, "Hey man, I never got to be it. You know, it's whatever. Y'all couldn't catch me." So,
I remember playing hide and go seek with my cousins and their friends in the dark in Shreveport. Now, in Shreveport, now, and I may not be remembering this completely accurately because I was like 8 or 9, and you know everything's different when you're 8 or 9.
oh yeah.
My grandmother, her house had 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and it had a porch, right? And it had the house. So there's a crawl space underneath the house. And then there was like maybe 8 feet on each side to the next house. And there was like a fence and there was like a backyard. And then across the street, cars parked and all this good stuff. So we were playing hide and go seek on that. And I remember playing hide and go seek, crawling under the crawl space, underneath and around cars, jumping over fences, sliding head first into the porch because the porch was home base. Like, dude, I remember looking back on it, I don't understand how I survived because it was either home base or die. Like we would literally jump to try not to get caught because my cousin was so much faster than us.
Yep.
And when they got it, they like run us down like they were Usain Bolt and you'd have to jump or slide or whatever. Oh my God.
Like, those were the days, man.
And now we sound old, the good old days.
Good
Good old days. You know,
Well, but I mean, it's a little bit different because like in my neighborhood, I can't trust my kids to be outside by themselves because everybody wants to fly in and out of the neighborhood doing 60 miles an hour. I'm like, bro, like relax. You're home. Like your house isn't too far. Like you're not gonna get there much faster than you could. Like you're gonna have to hit your brakes sometime. Like what's the problem here?
Okay, I know I seem like I'm angry a whole lot, but the story I'm about to tell you, it's not going to disprove that.
Mm-hmm.
So where we were staying in Charlotte, you come to the neighborhood and it's like 3 roundabouts in the neighborhood. Oh no, 2, right? We're at the first roundabout, right? So it's our roundabout and then a quarter mile and then the light before you get to the main street.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a neighborhood behind our neighborhood. So our roundabout was like the cut through roundabout, right? And I'm good with it being a cut through roundabout, except for in the mornings and in the afternoons when there are buses either in the roundabout or have stopped and are dropping off kids.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, I was taking my kids to the bus stop and cars were not stopping for the bus that had the stop sign out, right? That made me upset. And then they wouldn't stop in the roundabout when the bus was in the roundabout letting kids off.
Right.
That made me upset. So you know what I started doing?
What was that?
I started pulling into the roundabout at the same time that the buses did in my Cadillac. So now can't nobody get through. I used to pull into the roundabout. I used to hop out and let my kids out in the roundabout so that they could walk to the bus safely.
Yep.
And I used to stare down. I used to travel that in the mornings. I used to travel with my axe. Let me tell you why. This is calculated. If I show you my gun, then I'm threatening you with a loaded weapon.
Right. And brandishing
For
fire.
which I could be taken to jail just for showing you.
Yep.
Right. If I shoot your car or you with my gun, that's going to be assault, high level assault.
All right.
But if you don't stop in a roundabout and I chop your car with my axe, it's like that's a misdemeanor property damage at best. You know what I mean? So I used to roll with my axe. I got a big one, tree chopping axe, and I got that small hatchet axe that carry in my pocket just in case we had problems because people weren't stopping the roundabout. And I'm like, y'all know that this is the roundabout. Y'all see me here every morning. Y'all just need to calm down. That's it.
Or you see a school bus, like, where's the respect for the fact that our youth are, getting ready to get on the bus or get off the bus? Like, regardless, like, what happened to just back in the days? Remember, even though they had like gangs and shootouts and all that, one thing was clear to everybody: the kids were off limits.
Okay, so that's nostalgia because that ain't exactly the case. We want to make it that way. It's not exactly that way, but
true. Yes.
But there was something to be said about, kids getting on and off a bus.
Yeah.
Right. Like a bus stop for most places had an air of safety to it. Right. It's the reason why schools extended what would be the property of school to the bus stop. Like you fight at a bus stop, it's like fighting at school. You go to jail for that.
Mm-hmm.
So as a student, you go to jail for that. So, and I understand why they did it because they had to preserve the safety for kids there. And it's just like at some point, you got to be thinking about somebody more than yourself, or at least you need to be thinking that there's a big black man in the middle of the roundabout that don't care nothing about you in your car. That I promise you, if you roll up and you almost hit my kid, the next time I see you will be the last time I see you.
And you know what? I don't think a judge will fault you for that.
I have nothing on my criminal record. I'm a peaceful man. I am a stalwart in the community. I'm not a flight risk. I can and will plead out to a misdemeanor with probation and house arrest stuff. It's okay. It's okay. But I know what y'all won't do. I know y'all won't be flying through this roundabout at 8:30 when kids are getting on the bus.
Yeah.
So,
Like, yeah.
and look, the sad part about it is, first time it happened, I called the police and I was like, "Well, we can't do nothing about it." I mean, what you mean you can't do nothing about it? There's too many bus stops.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
ain't asking you about too many bus stops. I'm asking you about my bus stop.
Yeah.
I just need you there for 3 days over the next week for 20 minutes. That's all I need.
Yep.
Dude, ugh. Angry black man syndrome. I'm not angry all the time.
Well, so speaking of police, have you ever seen like the police now have the cameras on the trunk of the car that look at the license plates of the car that's next to them?
Yes,
So
I have.
what they just need to do is put that on the buses and just capture the people that run those things.
Yeah.
And just, hey, fines in the mail. Don't even worry about it.
Well, here's the sad part about that. I'm not even really in favor of them having it on the hood of their car to capture license plates. I think that's an invasion of privacy at some particular point. So, as much as I would be in favor, I mean, I feel like there's too much surveillance as it is. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, come on, man. You're in IT too. It's it's just going to get worse. Like in California, they have these license plates that are digital. So there's an evolution there where at some point all the license plates will be digital, and if you don't pay your tag, it's just going to be blank.
but
or we take it a step further. You don't pay your tag. Our cars are so smart now. If you don't pay your registration each year, your car just doesn't start.
Which is why I will always keep. I'm actively plotting. Hear me out. I'm actively plotting to purchase a vehicle that does not A, have an electronic starter.
Yeah.
And B, does not have an electronic throttle.
Yep.
They're getting more expensive by the day. By the week. Like they're getting, but simply because at some point, you're going to need to be able to drive and not have to worry about somebody shutting off your car because you're driving. I mean, I know we sound like preppers, kind of, sort of, right? But I'll tell you now, Black Man America, I've already thought about it. I've watched some shows that I would not normally watch just to be prepared for the craziness that could follow. Like I have an American exit. Did I tell you I have an American exit plan?
No, you did not tell me that you have an American.
Okay, so
I'm very interested in hearing about this.
This is way off of the show notes. I don't know how we got here.
Hey, we're here now.
Here's the theory, right? Here's the theory. I know that our society we've become comfortable with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our empire we've become comfortable with. And so there's a very large majority of people that have not ever considered the fact that America could not be America, right? Like America could not have, that never thought or considered America having war on its actual shores, or that America as an empire could be in turmoil in a way that you would have to leave America, right? We see that in other countries. We see it in Ukraine. We see it in the South American countries. That's why they're flooding America. We see it in African countries. We see it everywhere. But the question becomes, what would you do? Like, what would you have to consider if you have to leave the country in a rush? Like what would you do? Like, where would you go? Like, how would you get out? Like, how would you stay safe? Like,
sure.
And those things, call me a kook, call me conspiracy theory, call me whatever you want, right? Call me a wannabe prepper. But you think about those things, right? Like January 6th was happening. All of my vehicles were fully gassed. I had go bags. I was purchasing ammo while it happened. I was trying to buy a shotgun, but they had run out. No, I'm dead up. I'm watching it on my phone. I'm in Academy Sports purchasing ammo and clips. Not lying to you. Only because if this goes sideways, I got to get somewhere where I can get on a boat.
No, I get it. Believe me, I get it. It's just, Yeah, I'm laughing because I represent like the rest of America watching this right now. Like, what? This guy's crazy. But no, there's some truth to there's a lot of truth to that, and
You know,
I definitely understand.
like,
I definitely get it.
and
Like,
I fully admit that it is crazy talk. It is, but everything's crazy until it happens.
mhm.
Everything is crazy until it
Well,
happens.
we'll see. This is why nothing is completely outside the realm of possibility for me. That's why I don't take kids on boats. Boom. Ah. Ah.
You know what? I'll give you that one. Normally, it's me walking somebody into that, and you brought that full circle, and I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that. And
Ah.
because I'm going to give you that, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to pivot to our show notes and just a general thought. So we had conversations last week
Mhm.
about some things, right? And one of the things that we talked about was a conversation around domestic violence, right? And it
Yeah.
started because of Kevin Porter Jr. and what seems to be his long record of violence and domestic violence, which surfaced recently when he committed assault on his then girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie.
Don
I'm
Grizzlick.
not going to screw up her name. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. But for those that don't know, he's been arrested. He's out on bail. He's going to be charged. And the reports have it that he assaulted her for reasons unknown, right? Assaulted her in a way that she had lacerations to her face from multiple
Mhm.
punches to the face, and she had fractures to her vertebrae from being punched in the face. Now, I don't know how hard you got to punch somebody in the face to fracture their vertebrae, but I can tell you this. Kevin Porter Jr.'s girlfriend was a WNBA player.
Mm-hmm.
So she was an athlete,
Mm-hmm.
right? Athlete, which means that he physically, you know, in the words of Dave Chappelle, had to hit her with all of his might to
Yeah.
do something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, at what point do we get to where domestic violence is not a thing from, I think about it from a lot of different perspectives within the Black community, number one, right? Because these are two people of color,
Yeah.
right? But then from a male perspective, like, we have these trivial joke conversations all the time. Like, you're rich, you're a basketball player. Why don't you just leave? Like, there are
Right.
other women
Right.
everywhere. Like, you play basketball in Houston, bruh. You can get them legal. And look, you can get them legal and illegal in Houston. Like, you can get people that will marry you just to become citizens. So
Yeah.
why would you put yourself in a position where you are, physically harming a woman? Like,
Mm.
like I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Yeah. No, I don't either. Yeah, it's crazy because what could have transpired in order for you to hit this woman the way you did? Like in general, like honestly, we'll go ahead and say it. Like we don't condone putting our hands on a woman for no reason,
Definitely.
none whatsoever. Like ain't no reason to put your hands on a woman like that. Like that's absolutely crazy. And right now the Houston is trying to figure out a trade to get him off the team. I'm like,
They're gonna release him. They're gonna cut him.
yeah,
And nobody's gonna pick him up.
yeah. Like
You know what
what?
I mean?
Like you're 23 years old, and your career is over with over something that you did in the moment. Don't let an emotional moment cost you the rest of your life. And this is exactly what he did.
Can I take a moment? Right. I'm gonna see if I can find some levity in all of this, right? Because it's extremely heavy subject. And
Mm-hmm.
because, we're not, there's no reason if you have, unless your life is in danger, there is no reason to punch a woman, right? Now,
Right.
if your life's in danger, like, if she's actively stabbing you, okay,
getting ready to shoot you,
you got to get off you.
Yeah.
Like there's an understanding. There are concessions for that.
Right.
But aside from that, like, and I think that a lot of women want men, particularly black men, to be able to say the words, "It's not acceptable," because it's not, right? It's never been acceptable for me, and I've never been in a situation where I felt the need to, or I've never been around people that were close to having that interaction, right?
Right.
Like we've all been near arguments that we've broken up, but by and large, thankfully, I've never had to make the decision. But the question at this moment becomes, what would I be willing to do? What would I be willing to do to help someone else avoid this? And what advice do we give men, older, younger, as a whole? Like, I don't get it. For younger men, you know what I tell them? Bruh, when I was in my early 20s, if at any moment I thought that I had to consider violence toward you, my presence is no longer compatible with yours.
Right.
Matter of fact, in my early 20s, you would just be replaced. Like I can get a new model. I don't have to deal with this. No, I mean in my early 20s.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I don't have to deal with this later. Like, bye.
Why would I? Clearly, I'm not the man for you. If I've got to consider, if I can't deal with you without being respectful and considerate and not being violent, clearly I'm not the man for you, and clearly you're not the woman for me. And because there are quite a few models out there, I can go find another anything to be compatible with, or I could just go play Xbox. That's how it was. I mean, PlayStation at the time, dating myself, PlayStation at the time, but still, like we have to, have those conversations. Like I have those conversations with my son and with my daughter, simply because they need to understand what the standards are, and we need to be able to speak out to make sure that other men understand what the standards are as well. Right? You know, they don't mean we got to go around being Superman all the time.
Right.
But sometimes a voice is enough.
Well, but that's why it's very important for anybody to have some sort of hobby, some sort of outlet. So then that way stuff like that does not get bottled up. So then in the moment, your first reaction isn't to resort to violence.
You know what? The way you saying that calls into question a whole host of other considerations, right? There's the standard, right? That violence, right, against women is just not acceptable, right?
Right.
Like men don't do those things. And if you want to be considered one, then you got to be able to not do those things. Like you got to be able to control your anger or remove yourself so that is not something that you engage in, right? It's either one or the other. But even beyond that, like, what are you doing? Like, what progress have you made in either being able to communicate your anger or your frustration so that your resort is not violence, right? So that the answer to your question or the answer to how you feel is not violence. I think that too many people, first, men in particular, don't have the skills to deal with themselves or their ego or their anger or their hurt without resorting to violence. Like
so now that you say that, and your son is not too much older than mine, but I mean, they're still going through somewhat the same thing, like in school. So in school, if somebody's clowning you, the only thing you have is to, all right, now what's up? And first off, the kids don't even fight anymore. They just go straight to guns. But
they fight.
Now you're forced to defend yourself, against something that you really don't even have to really do in the first place. Like these kids are not like this kid is Kevin Porter Jr. He was not well prepared for this. And I'll honestly say, no, I wish I would have had better advice going into marriage, because you learn a lot about yourself, you learn a lot about your spouse, and they're just at the boyfriend, I assume boyfriend and girlfriend phase, and you're already here. Like that, you're
but
already up here, but you haven't even gotten this far into the relationship yet. Like that's crazy.
we're gonna come back to the marriage portion of that comment because that's very poignant. But like, let's be very clear. It shows that, and when you look at so when you look at Kevin Porter Jr.'s history, right? He's in Houston because he got traded from Cleveland. He got traded from Cleveland because he got into some foolishness and was violent there. And if you dig far enough, you'll find out that in college he had issues as well.
Yep.
Right. So we know that he has issues, and we know that they haven't been worked on to the point where he can process them without violence. Right. There are a whole host of things that go along with that. But it makes us ask ourselves and ask other people, particularly our viewers, like, what have you done to process the trauma that's in your life? Right. What have you done to grow to the point where you can communicate your anger without having to use violence? Like, because that is a part of self-growth, right? Which many people don't talk about, like you said, when you start talking about marriage, right? Because what marriage does is it shines a very bright and penetrating light on all of the areas that you have not worked on or grown from of yourself.
Right.
It does. And unless you're willing to work on them, unless you have worked on them, unless you're willing to work on them, and unless you have a spouse that's willing to stay with you while you work on them, marriage can be the worst.
Right.
Like, it's a thing.
Well, I mean, also, you know, there's not a lot of platforms for, you know, I'm not making excuses for the guy at all, but you know, I don't know how he was brought up, but I can assume, but I'm not going to just assume in this instance. But, you know, there's not a lot of places for men to actually be able to actually voice their opinions, voice like their feelings. Because, I mean, you know, sometimes when they're voicing their feelings, they're looked at as weak or whatnot. But I mean, that's not necessarily the case. Being being emotionally intelligent is just as good or even better than being just intelligent or smart.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, there's a lot of people who, if you met somebody who was truly emotionally intelligent about and could tell you and voice their opinions about themselves or whatever's going on, you'd probably honestly be shocked. Because, you know, in society, we're just, as men, we're not taught really to do any of that.
Well, okay, so in a parallel conversation, right? In a parallel conversation, we've got to look at not just what people have not done or not had the opportunity to do. We have to look at the conditions that create the willingness to accept those actions, right? At this point in my life, I'm trying very hard to create and to share community with people, right? Because what I'm coming to understand is that what many people lack is being in community with people, right? There has been an emphasis on personal gain, on personal wealth, on personal achievement. Right? You get a job, you do well, you move out to the suburbs, you got this big house, you're away from people, you know, and not necessarily a sustained focus on the need to be within a group of people that come to know you and come to help you grow, right? And one of the things that makes me sad particularly about Kevin Porter and about a lot of young men is that they don't get the chance to be a part of a community that helps them to grow. When I think about Kevin Porter, I think about the fact that he was a Houston Rocket, that he was a Cleveland Cavalier, that he was on a college basketball team, that he was on a high school basketball team. And none of those groups of people that he was around, in, or attached with created a community in which he could discuss the issues that would bring him to violence, and never had or never took the opportunity to challenge him to grow beyond what would be an answer to this argument with a woman being violent, right? Like you said, men don't have a place to express themselves, but men also don't have a place to be challenged by the people looking that they know want either what's best or better for them, and they're willing to challenge them to be better or to do better. And without that, like, how do you? I tell people all the time, I'm not mad at teenagers that enter into gangs. All they're saying is, I want a community that's going to help me be something other than what I am now. They're yearning for it, and what gangs do, they give that to them, right? Kids find that community in sports teams or in clubs, theater, and dance, hockey, and fencing, and gymnastics. They find it outside in their community. Used to be you found your community in your actual community, right? But now you may or may not know your neighbor. Chances are you don't have a good relationship with them, or you don't know them. And the people that you spend time with, people on your sports teams, people at your school, live so far away that there's no immediate and current community that you can be involved in that can see you through times such as this, that can see you have an issue and help speak to what you can do better and grow from in that issue. And I think about Kevin Porter Jr. and all of the sets of communities that he's been in, and none of them have been willing to look at him and say, you need to get therapy for this. All of them having the ability, right? All of them having the ability to provide therapy. The Houston Rockets, Cleveland Cavaliers, the college that he went to, and I would imagine the high school that he went to. The only reason I say that is because if he went to college, if he made it to the NBA, that means he was in college. If he was in college, that means he was pretty good in high school. And that means he was connected either to someone or to something, probably an AAU coach who should have been able to say to him, either I'm going to teach you how to be a man, or I'm going to help you get the therapy that you need so that you can not self-sabotage yourself when your life is starting to be on the ascent.
Well, so now the question becomes, was it actually self-sabotage, or was it more so like you said, he was in high school, college, pros. At some point, those people feel entitled.
But okay, so here's the thing. Here's my thing. Not going to say the thing. Here's my thing. One of the things that makes me angry is people that have the ability to nudge people in the right direction that don't, right? If I'm your college coach and I know you have an anger issue, you're going to be with counselors, right? Like, if I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers and I select you as a draft pick, and I know you have had anger issues and situations and then as a part of your deal, you're going to have to go see, to go see a head doctor. You have to go see a therapist, right?
Oh, yeah.
If I'm getting you from Cleveland with your record in Houston, then you're going to have to, like, at some point.
There was an opportunity at each stop to be like, hey, we need you to kind of do this if you could. Like, because I mean, if I'm giving you 63, like he signed a 4-year, $63 million deal. Like, if I'm going to give you this money, like I need to know I'm going to get a return on my investment. And honestly, business wise, it makes sense. Like, hey, we know that we want to give this man his contract, but we know he's had a history of domestic violence and other issues, blah, blah. Okay, well, give him some counseling and let's make sure he's on. At least we do our due diligence. We've done everything that we can. So if he completely goes out the rails, nobody can say, well, they should have looked into that. Because you're not going to tell me that you didn't know. Because if like how Carmelo Anthony said, with David Stern and the NBA, they work with the FBI. They know everything about it. Like John Morant's situation. They knew everything that's going on. We know who you hang with. We know. We know your boy's mama's where she stay at. We know her grandmama where she stay at.
Nah. We got the tape. We have the tape. We know.
So you're not going to tell me these teams have no idea who they're getting in bed with. They know exactly who they're signing and how much money and why they're giving them that money. And it's like, you guys have to do better.
So here's the killer question, though. We can talk about Kevin Porter because Kevin Porter is distanced from us. What do we do? How do we bring this up to people that we know? Like, What's the conversation that we can have? How do we encourage people that we know that are in these situations
That's
to
real
seek the
tough.
help that they need, right? Because, you know, Americans are famous, and I say Americans because it lumps us all together, right? I don't have to point at anyone because it encompasses all of us. But we're good at talking about people from afar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the conversation when I know you got anger issues, and I need to tell you that you got anger issues, right? What am I willing to do when I see that you are escalating with your significant other to a point where it could end in violence? And how do I, as a friend or as an acquaintance, assist you in making sure that you don't flame out and burn your life to the ground over something that could have been avoided? You know
So
what I mean?
here's the funny thing about it, though. Anybody who has anger issues, they have that one person that they can talk to, that they know that this person knows that they have anger issues. Like, I've had a friend like that in high school, and no matter how hot he got, I could step in front of him before something popped off between him and somebody else, and he wouldn't hit me.
I mean, you're not short though, dude. I mean,
True, but still, but is it? But I mean, I
I
get
know.
what you're saying.
I got you. I
Same
got you.
time, it's just like at some point, this person recognizes something in you, which means they have those faculties to be able to say, you know what, cool, all right, I'm just gonna walk away. Like, you have to, like, it's your job as that person's friend, not to necessarily always be there, but it's like, hey man, look, we're boys, and I need to be able to tell you when you're going left. And if you can't tell your friend when they're going left, they're really not your friend. That's the way I am. Like, if you can't tell me, hey Dom, I know you were talking about, everything that's going on with you right now, and you say it's them, but are you sure? Maybe it's you, because since we've been friends, you've done X, Y, Z, blah blah blah, and it's like, dang, for real. And I shouldn't react, like, oh well, you're against me too, like, the whole Anakin Skywalker thing. Like, then you get your legs chopped off, and then you turn into Darth Vader. Yeah, but
Wow, that
it,
went ultra dark real quick. But no, it's there's a lot to be said from being able to talk with someone that's on that ledge, with being willing to, and actually doing it, right? Actually going and having that conversation with them, because it speaks to your level of concern for them that, many people, will willingly acknowledge and reciprocate your level of calmness. Too, there's some, of course, that won't, but most people that are not completely incensed, you know, give you the ability or give you the option or the opportunity to bring them off of the ledge, which I think that we as men need to take more than we currently do. And if we do that, there'd be much less of Kevin Porter punching his girlfriend in the face, which I know we've been talking real heavy, but the rumor is she was sleeping. He went through his phone and he started punching her in her sleep, which I think is absolutely nuts. I
Well,
hope
and I was
that's
just going to say, I don't find anything on what started. Like, honestly, that the
yeah.
context, give me context, because you could say blah blah blah, but it's like, okay, well, what started? And if you start saying yes, if it is true that he went through her phone while she was sleeping, first off, if you ever go looking for something, you're probably going to find it. Number one.
Man, what here's my question. If you go looking through your significant other's phone and you don't find anything, have you accomplished your mission?
No, because you're just going to do it again until you find it.
Until you accomplish your mission. And at that point, is the mission really worth it?
Nah.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, no, absolutely. Because I mean, at some point, you're just like, I just want peace of mind. Like,
if I got to look through your phone, then you have to go down on the depth chart. I'm sorry. You're no longer a starter. You're coming off the bench if I got to go through your phone.
Yeah, you get
how I go.
I mean, just like you said, yeah. I mean, just like the analogy, like if your coach can't trust you, hey man, look, I can't trust you to be out there, so no.
But yeah, no, it's lamentful. It's frustrating. It's saddening to hear that.
Yeah, because I put it like this: if I just signed a 4 year, $63 million contract, like, do you, boo? Like, what you doing here? Like, what's going on? Like, bye. Like, I'm gonna find me another one later.
You could not clock how fast I would have left. if I pull up the phone and you got intimate conversations with someone else,
Yeah,
I'm not taking anything with me. I'm just leaving.
yeah, just, you know what? Well, she'd woke up.
I'm gonna leave
Hey,
you.
where you at?
I'm gonna leave you in the apartment.
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave you in the hotel room. I'm gonna leave you in the car. You know, that's the thing I can't understand about the whole Tory Lanez Meg the Stallion thing. Like, I'd have left her in the car.
well, he's got a short man complex, so that's number one.
But is he that short though?
Oh, he's short. You know what? I gotta look it up now. Tory Lanez. Height.
Hey man, come on, man. We gotta leave our short brothers out of this.
Whatever.
It's how tall?
Hey man, look. Bow Wow fumbled a
That man is
relationship with Sierra.
5'3". Okay, this is gonna sound real bad. I know, and I got to the audience that's watching or that's listening. I say something absolutely ridiculous every podcast, and this is just borderline. Tory Lanez is 5'3". Meg the Stallion is not. He had to shoot her. That's the only way. That's the only way. It's the only way. I mean, if he's 5'3", what is he? 125 pounds? Meg's got to be 5'8", 150. He's not winning that.
Megan the Stallion height. He is 5'10", sir.
He got a whole half a foot on this dude.
But I mean, and
He should have been happy to just been in the car with her.
like I said, Bow Wow fumbled the relationship with Sierra at one point. Short men complex.
Man.
Short guys.
I
don't know what that is. So I mean, whatever.
Hey man, I have love for my vertically challenged brothers. I understand that it's rough out here in these streets because you don't have a 6 in front of your height. Women are irrational in that way. I completely agree. And deep down, they completely agree as well. But that we can't do anything with that, and it give you the right to lash out just because you can't sit on the ride at Carowinds. It's not my fault.
I mean, they are doing leg extension surgeries now.
Okay, we're gonna wrap this up after this. So, can you please tell us more about these leg extension surgeries? Because I got a whole bit around it.
So here's the interesting about leg extension surgeries. Basically, your body wants to repair itself, so they're just hacking it. Basically, they cut off sections of your bone and remove it, and basically stabilize your foot or your feet, your legs until the bones fuse back together, which means it's going, and you separate it enough, but you can't do it like 6 inches or a whole foot. That's just be stupid.
You can actually do 6 inches. You can actually do 6 inches. You can't do more than, there's not been one, as you can tell, I've Googled a lot. There's not been one more than 6 inches.
Okay.
But there has been a few, there have been
6
two that have been
and
6
lower.
inches.
And your body's going to adjust that, which means your body's going to make more skin. It's going to stretch your legs. It's going to fuse your bones back together. That's just the way your body works. It wants to repair itself, homeostasis. But so, yeah, that's the way it works. Now you're out of commission for a while because, you're missing a whole chunk.
You have to be objectively wealthy to get this surgery done, because not only is the surgery a major surgery, I think you have to be bedridden for like 2 months. Like, you have to be bedridden for 2 months. Like you can't leave the hospital. Like, you're there for like 8 whole weeks before you are able
But then here's the other thing: the pain. Your bones have to fuse together, and then after, so like if you're bedridden for 2 months, you're not just gonna be able to get up and just start walking. You still have to go through therapy in order to get used to that. So your running dynamics change. Your walking dynamics change. And then on top of that, you've been bedridden for 2 months, so muscular atrophy. Like, your muscles, you have to build those back up again. Like it is. Look, I've torn my Achilles, and man, whatever. Y'all can have that.
Okay, so just as a reference, it's $120,000
Oh, I mean, if you didn't go to college,
for
man,
the surgery. That's number one,
yeah, that's
right?
still wrong debt.
You're in a cast on both legs for 3 to 4 weeks, and it takes 8 to 12 weeks before you can go back to any kind of physical activity. Okay, so let's start there. Now, in the event that you do choose leg lengthening surgery and you are successful in lengthening your legs, here's my question. What you gonna do with the rest of you? Because ain't none of that changed.
Your torso's still little.
Your torso's still little. Your hands still little. Your arms still little. Your feet still little.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the
Your
arm.
ears still little. Like your shoulders didn't get any broader.
Nope.
You're gonna look out there be looking like a Oompa Loompa. Like just all disproportioned.
Well, I mean, your arms, you can do the same thing as as your legs. So I mean,
can you do that? I didn't know you could do that with the arms. I hadn't heard of that yet.
I mean, scientifically speaking, it worked the same way. But you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it here. You do it here at your humerus because it's just one bone. Here, you would have to do two bones.
Also, you gonna have you have short forearms and a long bicep.
Look, man, I was born above average height, so whatever, Look, man,
I'm just saying you got to consider all the things, because after you get done,
it's basically picking and choosing, because you have to go to each body part. What can I do here, doc? What about here? This is off. This is off.
I got a question for you. If my father had gotten leg lengthening surgery and arm lengthening surgery, and I was born and I was only 5'3", I'd kick him in his surgically repaired femur. You knew that I was going to have this problem. So now you look like a giant, a disproportionate giant, and I'm a midget.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely. It's selfish. It's extremely selfish. And then, I mean, depending on, who your parent was and whatnot, now they've squandered your inheritance at some point. So good job.
Nah, I just think it's funny. I mean, I get it. It's cosmetic surgery, much like all cosmetic surgeries. It doesn't,
well, speaking of cosmetic surgeries, I think the rate of women wanting to get BBLs have.
Please, no, why?
Look, man, you brought it up.
I did not bring up BBLs. I did bring up cosmetic surgery, but I was trying to avoid that conversation. I mean,
I think the rate of women wanting and actually going to get BBLs has reduced since, the genius that went over to Mexico and got abducted by the cartel.
They ain't thinking about that. They just want to go. They want a vacation. They want to come back looking like a bumblebee.
But then also like
an ant.
Like, I mean, but why would you go to Mexico of all? Like, no. I understand.
It depends on where in Mexico you go.
Understand that it's probably cheaper to go outside the country, but the risk of infections, man. Like,
hey, man, you know how they got to fly back?
Please enlighten me. This is gonna be stupid. Oh my god, this is gonna be dumb.
You can't sit down after you have the surgery. No. It's not me being funny. It's not me being funny. You can't sit down, so you have to fly back on your knees in the chair.
No, it's stupid. It's just dumb. It's too much. It's too much. Like, it's too much to do. And then, like, from what I understand, like, you're draining for so long after that. And then, like, you got to wear this stupid thing to compress your body. Like,
it makes me very sad, the pressure that women are under to look a certain way.
Right.
It makes me very sad, the lengths that women have to go through to be esteemed of self. Right. And I wish that were not the case. I wish that women didn't have that kind of pressure on them, created by men and the male gaze, and by women, and their willingness to be in comparison with other women.
Yeah, I told my wife a long time ago, like, we would go places, and definitely, for herself, she wants to put on the makeup and whatnot. I always remind her, you don't need it. Like, you don't need it. I get if that's what you want to do, but just so
if it were solely about us, right? There are a lot of things they would do differently, a lot of things they wouldn't do, but it's not solely about us, right? That's the thing. That's why, I understand the BBL. There's just like I understand breast implants, or breast reduction, right? I get it. I just wish that the pressure. Wait. What's the?
I don't agree with any of it.
You don't agree with any of it?
Any of it?
Not even breast reduction? Why not?
God put them there for a reason.
He did. He put them there for a reason. I don't think he wanted them to be that big all the time for a reason. Or else, you want to know why? Or else he would have made better bras.
Look, man, he could have did it. He couldn't do everything. Faith without works is dead. All right,
He made better bras. You know how bad bras are. Like, at some point, and I purchased a lot of bras. There's not there's not a bra that, like, you can't.
It's like sneakers. They all run different sizes. Like, if you get a Nike, Nike, I wear like a
That's not what I was going to say. For the record, not what I was going to say. But okay, we'll roll with that today. Oh man, that's our time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
No, but hey man, it's okay. Since we're in this rabbit hole, and we're almost at 90 minutes, right? We're good. I got to ask you the lightning round real quick.
All right, what's up?
So, reductions, no. Implants, no.
Oh God, no, that's worse.
What about weave? Weave, you good with weave?
My wife's all natural, so
okay. So no with the weave. What about makeup?
I mean, if you just want to throw on some lipstick or something, cool. But like like when they say I'm about to go beat my face, like no, not that thing, not that whole thing.
Okay. What about earrings?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an agnostic on that one. I don't really care.
What about waxing?
I have a preference, but I roll with whichever on that one. Whichever.
I'm asking your preference, right?
Because
I'm trying to figure out where the line in the sand is.
It doesn't bother. I don't really care either way.
At least you're consistent.
Yeah.
At least you're consistent.
Hey man, but
we will revisit this when I find out exactly what scenarios your line stops at. We will return.
I tell you, whenever that I get to that line, I'll let you know. I'll be like, yeah, that's the line right there.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Oh. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not getting in trouble today. All right. So
now the viewers gotta know. Now they want to know.
No, I'm bailing. I'm putting. I got to say something for another time.
All right.
Yeah. No.
All right, guys. You won't get that question. I was looking forward to it too, but
Oh, it's a good question. It's a very good question. It's a very, very poignant. As someone that has purchased a lot of bras, it's a very poignant question. It's very important. So, but we'll talk about that another time. I need to find out exactly where Dominique draws this line. But until then,
thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, comment down in the comment section below, whatever whatever I was trying to say there. Definitely want you guys to continue to interact with us. Please lock in with us, so then that way hit the subscribe button, so that whenever we post new episodes, which we normally do every Friday, so this episode will air on Friday, September 22nd, you will get notified. Also, if you cannot watch the videos, we are published on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I'm working on Amazon Music very soon. But yes, you can listen to us in the car in your morning drive. Thank you guys for your support.
Thank you guys.
And we will see you guys in the next one.
How about them Cowboys?
Whatever.